Time for a Soccer Down Here 1v1, a developing story, breaking news that is no longer broken. New head coach of the Charleston Battery, Ben Pirmann. Ben, thanks for hanging out with us for a 1v1.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so let's get into this process. I mean, this seems like, you know, in following your career as I have, is it fair to, how would you characterize yourself? I view you as a builder when it comes to personalities of individuals and coaches. How would you view yourself when it comes to your own personality?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big word is balance. Whether that's in recruitment, our tactics on the pitch, how we live our lives off the field, we just try to find balance. So, you talk about building for sure. There's always projects that or need to get done, whether that's at home or on the pitch or in the front office. Look, I myself, the staff, we want to identify talent. We want to develop. We want to coach them up. But ultimately on Saturday nights, especially at Patriots Point, we want to win 3 points. We want to win as many matches as possible. We want to help get this club, with such great history and such an immense community, back to where it belongs in the table and competing and being relevant and trying to make playoffs and push on. So, a holistic approach, well balanced. We take in any and all information, and just continue to try to look in the mirror and reflect, and improve and go from there.
For those that don't know your philosophy, because obviously philosophy and tactics are two different things. Tactics are the game day element in all of this with the opponents that you'll face in USL Championship. But for those that don't know your philosophy, how would you describe you to those who don't know?
In regard to philosophy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to the balance. We want to be good on the pitch in all four phases of the match: in possession, out of possession, both transition phases, definitely in restarts. I'm very big into processes. We can't control the result on a Saturday night. We're either going to win or lose or draw. But what we can control is our attitude and our effort leading up to that, whether that's in the recruitment, whether that's in training, whether that's in the gym, whether that's serving our community. So my philosophy, the big word along with balance, is servanthood. We are servants of this club. We are servants of this community. And it's not just me, and it's not just our front office and President Lee and Rob, who's done a great job, not just the players. Honestly, it's yourself, it's the media, it's the community, it's every single person going at this together, making this football club and this community the strongest unit as possible.
What attracted you to the project?
I mean, what didn't? Look, somebody asked me earlier, they said, Lee hired Ben, he wins the silly Coach of the Year award. Well, he also had a Coach of the Year in Tampa. I want to be able to work for a president like Lee. Players want to come to this community for a lot of reasons, right? Historic club. I could go on for so long about the benefits. Could be the weather, could be this, could be that. There's a ton of things. I'm selfish. I'll be candid. I'm a selfish person. I want to win. I want to win. You can't really find a whole heck of a lot of places in North America where you can win on and off the pitch. Let's win 3 points. Let's win as many matches as possible. Let's get into the playoffs, and let's win in our community. We want to serve. We want football, soccer. It's a sport that's different than anything else in the world. It goes hand in hand. Our supporters, our fans. We want the ball boys playing in the first team in a few years. We want our ticket takers to become directors. We want our community, the low country area. We want us to be servants. In what better avenue than Charleston Battery Football Club? So for me, we want this football club to do the business on and off the field. And I think when you step back and look at it, it's like, hey, where else could we go that's better than this?
How much of an education was Charleston for you, and how much did you know about the community going into this process and the discussions where you became head coach?
Yeah, definitely both, right? I've been here 4 times to play matches. It's an educated fan base. We want to bring that energy. We want fireworks, literally on and off the field type thing. But also, look, I'm all in. Like I'm a servant. I dive in. Unfortunately, Charleston probably has more history than any other area of the country. So I'm definitely far from an expert, but I've already done food tours and carriage rides. I want to learn. I want to learn. I'm gonna go rewatch The Patriot just to see a few things, but I'm in. Like I'm educating myself. My wife and I were so excited to be a part of this community and serve. But I've been here a few times. I've enjoyed some oysters. I've enjoyed there's an energy, right? There's a buzz. There's just a quality around it. We want to make sure that energy matches on the pitch and vice versa. We want the people to feel what we're doing every single day. And we're going to suffer. We'll lose plenty of matches. I want to win every single one, but we're going to keep getting better and better and better. And I think that's something that our community, football supporters and Battery supporters and non, can really rally around.
How have you grown and matured as a coach, say, in the last two jobs that you've had?
Yeah, outside of my waistline getting a little bit bigger. No, look, I've been at Michigan State University in Detroit City, up in Michigan, and one thing that was great being in college in being there for so long is that you learn what I stayed young per se, right? I learned what young individuals, not just as footballers, but as humans, how they thrive. And if we've seen anything over the last 10 or 15 years, that generation is rapidly changing. It's an instant gratification. They're such unique and brilliant human beings. Well, that's who we're coaching now, so that was really important for me to be educated and mature and develop, in regard to Detroit City and Memphis 901 FC. You're always looking in the mirror. If you look around the USL Championship, there are a ton of managers, ton of coaches. You look at Allen, you look at Brendan in Colorado Springs, Danny in Louisville, Neil wins the coach of the year last year, running away with things. These are people that I just want to surround myself with. Now I'm competitive. For 90 minutes, I really dislike them, but I just want to get better. So to be around those coaches in these other clubs for the last 8-10 years of my life has been fantastic. The last 2 years as the head coach of Memphis 901 FC, I've really been able to kind of be myself and grow. But look, anybody in this business, it doesn't matter if you're in Europe, South America, USL, Major League Soccer, you've got to look in the mirror every single day. What are we doing to get better? If you ain't getting better, the other 24 teams in USL are, and we got to keep pushing on.
Ben Pirmann, the new head coach of Charleston Battery, hanging out with us for a Soccer Down Here 1v1. When it comes to the kind of individual that you're looking for to bring in to be a part of your version of the Charleston Battery, you mentioned the servant aspect of it, but what about on the pitch and integrating that with that servant? What kind of individual are you looking for to bring in to stamp your brand on what you want to have happen?
Yeah, the big model that we use, I learned this from my assistant coach. He was a scout with Sporting Kansas City and some clubs and doing some things with Real Madrid in Europe. And he said, high energy, high character. And, that does go along with being a servant, but high energy, high character. There are a lot of really good footballers in North America. A lot of really good footballers. Who are the ones that are going to work their absolute tails off? Who are the ones that are going to treat people with respect, love their teammates, support each other? Because ultimately it's 11v11. So if we can get 11 players acting like 12, 13, 14, we can win more matches. And they play better and they get more accolades and they're due. Everybody kind of succeeds and everybody wins. So, we want high energy, high character. Ultimately, yes, there is a skill set that has to meet a certain threshold, and athleticism and experience. I like players that are, a little bit jaded, a little bit, second chance. Maybe they've been looked over, right? And ultimately, if you're in USL, sometimes a lot of the players are, whether they want to be in Europe or Major League Soccer, they're coming out of college. There's so many different journeys. Could be 17-year-old like Fidel Barajas, could be 30-year-old players. So for me, there's no set, you got to be this age, you got to be this quick, you got to make this many passes. There's no set barometer. But for us, it's very clear the type of individuals that we want in our club.
Because it's, with those individuals who have that chip on their shoulder, that have the battery on for a certain demographic, that remember, it's like, I dare you to knock it off. They come in with that extra motivation. and that want to gene that might not be present in other individuals.
100%. That you summed that up very well. Like we want Patriots Point rocking. In order for it to be rocking, we need players that are going to run through a brick wall. Look, whether it's life or football, we all suffer. Some people suffer worse, and some have better things going on in life. But on the pitch, it's the same way. We're going to suffer. We're going to get a red card. We're going to miss a chance. We're going to go down a goal. We're going to lose a game. Things are going to happen. We need individuals that are going to say, "Yep, no problem. What can we do to get better? Have some of this. Come back to Patriots Point. You're going to get punched in the face." Hopefully not figuratively too often, or literally, but those are the type of the players that we want. And it's not, like I said, I really do mean this. Like, it's not just the coaches, the players, the front office. Rob and Lee, they've been tremendous. It's everybody. It's the players passing out tickets, or the people passing out tickets. It's the people in the parking lot. It's yourself. It's the media. Anybody and everybody. They're going to be ready to go. To support this football club.
What's it been like for you to see the sport grow in the Southeast over the last handful of years? Because there's the hip hop saying that the South's got something to say, and it has taken hold here at SDH headquarters in Atlanta. But what's it been like for you to kind of be touring the Southeast and the places that you are now, the places that you've been, the markets that you played in, to see the sport grow in the Southeast the way that it has, which has been kind of poo-pooed probably up into the last decade? It's like, oh, it's the South. What do they know? What's it been like for you to see it grow in the Southeast?
Yeah, for me, I would kind of sum it up as it's an environment, or a potentially culture, a fan base, a supporter view of they're open-minded. Yes, there are a lot of unbelievable footballers in history from the Southeast. They're incredible amount of talent, but also as Americans in general, but a worldview as well. We're always growing, and we're improving and learning and educating. And let's be honest, the sport changes. It changes every week. It changes every year. It changes, generationally. So in the Southeast, you've got a group of people, whether they're footballers, they're supporters, they're casual observers. I think they're craving it. You mentioned Atlanta. There's other cities, none better than Charleston, and to be one of the most historic clubs on this continent. I think that has even more impact in this community, even more impact in the global scheme of things. So it's one of those things where, like you said, the rappers will say there's something to say in the South. Like, we're going to represent that. I'm going to steal that from you.
Nothing wrong with that. It's all about sharing lines. It's all good to go. Let me ask you a couple more things. When it comes to the to-do list, it could be in various forms. It could be on one of these. You pull a stylus out, you sit there, you write something down on your phone, you slam the stylus back in, you put your phone away. Could be on a notepad someplace, could be on the refrigerator where you've got the dry erase board, or it could be off to your left, maybe on one of those big 6-foot boards that you have the dry erase board, and you have all the lines and going every place. What do you think the next thing that you can cross off your to-do list is?
Well, I'm looking at my board right now. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of crossing things off. I'm always looking forward, so it's like, I think it is, I think we need to prepare. We need to recruit high level footballers, but we also need to plan our preseason. We need to, finalize the staff. What's the priority? Look, we want to be a massive player in the USL Championship. You need good players to do that. Dennis Sanchez is here, myself, bringing the staff, Lee, Rob, Wade, everybody here at this club. Like, we're going to recruit good footballers and even better human beings. We're going to recruit them to be on staff. And then there's the planning and the objective. So it was a good question. You stung me there a little bit, but I think that's where we need, everything's looking forward. Everything's looking forward. How can we improve? We've got a great group of players coming back that I'm really excited to coach and work with and go to battle together and serve together. Great community. That's one of the most things I'm excited about, is immersing myself here. I'm a citizen. I'm ready. What a lovely town, lovely place. I got to stay active because the food here is so good. But Those are the things that we want to accomplish, and I would say, look, if like Leo Messi wants to play for us and we can cross that name off the board, then sure.
You mentioned immersing yourself into everything when it comes to Charleston and the food and all of that. So let me ask you this. In the time that you've spent in there, what are some of the places that you've sat there and it's like, ooh, I like it here? Get time for the shout outs. So those places that you've been able to sit there and you like, even though you know that you've got to discover more. What are some of the haunts and places that you found you're like, ooh, I like this place?
Well, there's a couple we did a little carriage ride down by the water by the battery. I mean, some of the buildings, like I like just observing buildings and houses. It was incredible. We ate at a couple places. I like seafood. There was a seafood place, I think it was called Hank's. Ordered some triggerfish. I was like, I want more of this right now. Actually, when we came here in May, I'm not going to remember the name of it. We went to an oyster place. I think it's pretty famous, and they had these like baked oysters. I was like, I'm definitely, want to move to Charleston. No, but and then those were the big ones for me. That really stood out. I'm like I said, I am ready to take in everything, and it's such a eclectic and unique place where I think every week I'm gonna be like, I want that place, I want that place, I want that place. So that's exactly what I think living here is gonna be all about.
Nothing like expanding the waistband as you're trying to balance that out with the season in the USL Championship.
Right. I mean, yeah.
So Ben Pirmann, new head coach of the Charleston Battery. Great to catch up with you as always, and we'll be keeping an eye on the new challenges that you have down there at Patriots Point. Thanks for hanging out for a 1v1, and go get some lunch.
Thanks for being so welcoming. I appreciate it.